Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Will, and today I want to talk to you guys about how to determine eye dominance. Now, this video is going to be more for our newer gun owners out there who've never shot a gun, never had a gun, and probably don't even know what I mean by eye dominance. Basically, everybody has a dominant eye, and it doesn't always line up with your dominant hand. This is important to know for when you start shooting, you start learning how to shoot, setting up your gear, things like that. It's going to matter because your dominant eye is the one that's going to want to take over, basically, and be the primary image you see. You probably don't realize that you have a dominant eye unless you look through microscopes, telescopes, other sorts of like single ocular piece lenses. Then you may notice more which eye is your dominant eye. But once you figure out your dominant eye, that will help you figure out maybe which hand you want to shoot with it. There's two schools of thought here. You can either shoot with your primary hand. For example, I'm right-handed, so I shoot with my right hand, but I'm also right-eye dominant. Mrs. Country is right-handed, but she's left-eye dominant. So that can potentially cause some issues when it comes to shooting handguns, rifles, shotguns, the whole 9 yards. Let's talk real quick about how to actually figure out which eye is your dominant eye. What I want you to do is take your hands, overlap them so where there's a small little triangular hole in the middle where your thumbs are. And then point that at something. I'm actually going to point it at the camera lens. And I look through. Now I close my, let's just say, left eye. I still see the lens. If I open my left eye again and close my right eye, I don't see the lens anymore. I'm right eye dominant because I still see the lens with my right eye through that hole in my hands. I'll do a video here kind of showing you guys what that'll look like in a second. But now I know I'm right eye dominant. Great, I'm also right-handed. That's a pretty easy decision. I'm going to shoot right-handed. If you are left eye dominant and right-handed, or right eye dominant and left-handed, you may have to make some changes in terms of how you shoot. I would still recommend shooting with your primary hand, your dominant hand, just because it's going to be more intuitive as far as shooting goes, but lining up the sights might get a little tricky. There's a few things you can do to help with that. On rifles and shotguns, let's say you're right-handed, left eye dominant, close your left eye. Now your right eye is the only one that can see down the sights, and your left eye isn't trying to take over and make it hard for you to see the sights. There's pros and cons to that. One, you lose half of your field of view when you close one eye, so situational awareness is going to go down. Sorry, dogs are making noise. Something else you can do is what I recommend: keep both eyes open when you shoot. If you're shooting a rifle or a shotgun, preferably with a red dot, but this works with irons too, you can keep both eyes open, and eventually, it may take some time, but you'll train yourself to pick up the sights with your non-dominant eye, but still see the target with your dominant eye. And those two images, just like when you look at anything else in the world, will superimpose over each other, and you'll still be able to shoot and shoot accurately. With handguns, what I recommend is, again, shoot with both eyes open, but let's say I'm right-handed, left eye dominant. When I come up and get on the sights, if I just turn my head, I can use my left eye and line up those sights with it. It's kind of hard to do with both eyes open because I'm right eye dominant. But I can line up the sights with my left eye if I just turn my head enough to put my left eye more directly behind the irons. So there's lots of tips and tricks out there. I'm not an expert on how to shoot when you're cross dominant. That's when you're left eye dominant right-handed, or right eye dominant left-handed, because I've never had to do it. But I do know there are some tips and tricks out there. I've done some research because Mrs. Country is cross eye dominant, so just trying to help her figure out how she wants to do things when it comes to her learning how to shoot. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I've got. Just kind of a quick video, but again, knowing which eye is your dominant eye is very important when it comes to shooting. And if you at least know which eye is your dominant eye, then, going into it, you've already got a leg up. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to post those down in the comments below, or you can send me an email or a DM on Instagram. I'll have that linked in the description as well as here on the screen for you guys. And yeah, that's all I got. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Y'all take it easy. Roll Tide. and I'll see you later.